Jamieson! This is great. My name is Randy, and I'm from Oklahoma City. And I got two gentlemen on here, Ashton and John. And you probably won't be able to hear them because I suck and didn't bring headphones.
Oh, all right. Do they know I'm not just ignoring them?
Yeah, they can hear you.
They can hear
I've got a chat over here.
I'll be like, you wouldn't answer any more questions. You're an asshole.
Social media.
No wonder they canceled that show.
What show? Oh man, thank you.
Show that bought me a house thing.
Right?
Heavy Metal bought me a house.
Damn right.
My autobiography.
Damn right. Well, speaking of, I know you're a metalhead, but how did you and the team from that metal show actually come about? Were you guys just in the same circle? Like,
yeah, we were in a rub and tug.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. Are there any?
We all had dirt on each other, so we basically had to keep our secrets.
Yeah.
From our girlfriends.
So.
Yeah. Jim Florentine and I, we're out doing comedy gigs, as we still do, and we would always, when we'd come back from gigs, we couldn't wait to get in the range of Eddie Trunk's radio show, because here's a guy who's got a heavy metal radio show,
right.
And he was obviously super popular in the New York, New Jersey area.
Never met him.
But, we're like, God, this guy could talk about Saxon for 20 minutes. We got to meet him.
No shit.
And then eventually we met him at an Ozfest backstage. And, that's how it all got started. So, and still friends to this day.
You know, that kind of reminds me of how I met John. I was at Rocklahoma, and this guy just knew so much music trivia. It just made me sick. I was like, how does this guy know that much shit? And so when we went to do this podcast or had an idea for it, I was like, I've got the guy, because he knows so much random, carnal, just crazy things about Saxon.
Right. Well, I mean, even to this day, as much as I've worked with Eddie over the years and been friends with him, sometimes he'll spit something out, and I'll go, "There's no reason for you to know that." How is that possible that that's in your brain still after all these years?
Oh my goodness!
So you guys are from Oklahoma? Yeah. So how do you become beach bangs? There's no beach in Oklahoma.
No, bleach.
Oh, bleach.
Yeah.
Oh, bleach bangs.
So.
That's more appropriate. Yeah.
There's no bangs.
Not for you, but yeah.
It just sounded really 80s to us.
Yeah. Well, hair metal. Exactly. I do hair comedy.
Exactly. Yeah. And everybody had bangs, and it was bleached.
Yeah, sure.
Put them together, and then it just paints a picture of, oh, I see what they're about. 80s rock and roll.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I mean, we just wanted a platform to all the local bands that are around. John's in Topeka, Kansas, and we had another co-host that was in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Who has a metal mayor. Yeah. The mayor of Albuquerque is a huge metalhead.
There were so many bands up there, but they never get heard.
Yeah.
They don't get on the radio. So we wanted to give a platform to go, come over here, we'll play you, and then we'll talk about your next show.
Yeah.
What do you got going on next? You got an album coming out, huh? So we wanted to give them a platform to promote themselves, and it's been very successful for a lot of folks.
Yeah, good. To help, for all of us to try to help out new bands is so important.
Yeah.
Because while it's easy to get music out there now, because you could put up your own Spotify channels and things like that, but how do you cut through all the other bands that are doing the same thing?
Exactly.
And so for you to give bands that opportunity, it's so super important. I listen to so much music still. I love plugging, new bands that I'm into, because otherwise, the word never gets out there. So that's cool that you do that.
Absolutely. Rockstrap.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Sure.
What do you got going on?
Yeah. Here, I got a guitar pick for you. Rockstrap is myself and Keith Roth, the great radio DJ of Sirius XM, great musician as well.
I didn't know that.
playing with the Dictators currently, which is
Okay.
really cool. The old classic punk band.
Yeah.
And Keith and I, obviously, I've interviewed almost every rock star under the sun.
Right.
But when the camera's off, the last thing they want to talk about is their new album, their last tour, any of that stuff. And you end up talking. I realized we end up talking about sports or something.
Sports.
And so that was the concept, So we took Jockstrap and we made it Rockstrap. And it's us interviewing rock guys about sports and sports guys about rock. And it gives a different, obviously for the fans, it's nice to hear, your favorite rock star talk about something you've never heard him talk about.
Yeah, who are they a fan of?
Like when we had Blackie Lawless from Wasp on, he was telling these great stories about going to see the '61 Yankees with his dad when he was a kid, and taking the subway to the game to Yankee Stadium,
and you would never pull that story out of him any other way.
Yeah, and of course we'll talk about some music, but
right.
But I like it too because it's not the same old interview. So how's the new record? How's and so it's nice. It's just a little, and then of course hearing sports guys who talking cliches in interviews. It's great to get somebody on and go, oh yeah, I got up and jammed with Pearl Jam one night, and because they all secretly want to be rock stars. So,
yes.
Yeah, that's the concept of the show, and we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Very cool. Yeah.
Where can people catch the show at?
It's on all the, where you get your finer podcasts, or at least your mediocre ones. And we're putting up a YouTube channel. We're slowly,
that's going to be great. That's going to be great.
That's everybody. But Keith and I are New Jersey buds, and we're having a lot of fun.
Good stuff. Is that video? I've only listened to it on Spotify.
Right now it's just audio, but we do video all of them.
Okay.
So eventually, when the YouTube channel is properly set up, we'll release all the video of everything.
Awesome. Awesome.
But really, Keith and I are like Jersey fives, like on a good day. So you don't really need to see us.
That's kind of how we are too. When we first started, years
15 years ago.
that it was all audio, it was on Blog Talk Radio, and people would phone in.
Blog Talk, yeah.
They'd phone in and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then we took a break, and then we're like, hey, you guys feel like doing it again? We're like, well, the game has kind of changed. We've got to kind of go video now, but we're like, but look at us. Look at John.
Which one's John? Sergeant
The
Sleeves?
bald one.
I like the nickname.
But then we've got Ashton. We tried.
Ashton's the young stud.
Yeah, he keeps us nice and fresh. It's like, okay, enough 80s, Joe.
Can you ever get enough 80s? Come on.
No.
He was raised on 80s,
Oh,
so he knows it all.
Oh, is that your kid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I just got off the Monsters of Rock cruise, and so that's all 80s, basically.
Right.
And although they book bird bands that sound like 80s bands too. So,
Exactly.
so that's just it's great that there's this real. This is now this retro. People getting back into the 80s thing. It's been happening for like the last decade, and it's still going strong, which is amazing. Everything comes back around,
Is it going to hold? Is it going to stick?
Mullets came back, bell bottoms came back.
Yeah.
Everything comes back around again.
Yeah. It like when Steel Panther first came out, It's like, oh god,
yeah, exactly.
It's
they probably had no idea that it was going to become a thing.
No way,
yeah.
No way.
We're a parody of an 80s band, but they're putting out records of their new material.
Yeah.
When it was really supposed to just be kind of a goof.
Yeah.
But people really got into it, and I love it. I think it's
Those
hilarious.
cats can play, though.
Yeah.
Holy
They're legit.
shit. We've seen them multiple times just a few weeks ago, actually. And just watching Satchel, it's like, this dude.
Oh, yeah.
This dude.
I bother them all the time. I want to tour with them, because it was so fun, to do comedy and with those, opening for those guys. Yeah. So I'm going to wear them down, though. I wore my girlfriend down. I could wear her. It took 13 years to wear my girlfriend down. So eventually I'll get on a Steel Panther tour. But I've done a bunch of stuff with them, like social media stuff that they ask me, because they love comedy and stuff. So
Yeah.
they're great guys.
So let's hear about Denim and Laughter and how that is going currently.
Well, Denim and Laughter was my last comedy album.
Okay.
So all my comedy albums are parodies of my favorite rock albums. So my first album was Live and Hilarious instead of Live and Dangerous by Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
My second album was Hell Bent for Laughter instead of Hell Bent for Leather by
Yeah.
Judas Priest. My third album was Communication Breakdown, which was a tribute to Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And then Denim and Laughter. I struck up a friendship with the Saxon guys when Biff came and did that metal show, and we stayed in touch. And I rode on the bus with him a bunch of times, and Biff's like, you make all your albums parodies of the bands that you love, but you don't have a Saxon one yet. And I go, oh.
Here we go.
And so I start thinking real quick through the Saxon songs and albums, and I go, Denim and Laughter. And he goes, that's it, Nate. They gave me permission to use the actual artwork from Denim and Leather on the front and the back. And then my newest album is No Sleep Till McSorley's instead of No Sleep Till Hammersmith. And the Motorhead camp was also cool enough to let me use the original artwork. So I'm photoshopped in with Lemmy and Filthy and Fast Eddie. And the back as well, but I took out their pictures and put mine in there. And Phil Campbell played the opening, instrumental guitar solo at the beginning of the album. So, it's just because I still like the physical product, so that's why I like to, that's a big part of it for me is the packaging.
Yeah.
But I always say, you don't have to like hard rock and metal to enjoy what's in it. But if you love the music we love, the packaging will mean something to you.
Absolutely.
Get out of that. So
I was really excited because we went to the show last night that you guys were hosting, and when they came out there, and we're gonna have a comedian up there singing Don. What? And then Hal gets up there.
oh yeah. Oh no, Hal killed it, man. I don't get, and that's a tough song to sing. King's X over my head. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
Holy shit.
Well, Hal's got that Van Halen tribute band, Nerd Halen.
Yes.
Who are awesome. So Hal. Besides being a great comic, he's actually a legit great singer too. So
You're right. I was actually blown away. I was like, how did he just hit that? I did not see that.
But you don't want me anywhere near that microphone. Trust me. It's yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Looks like we're getting the wrap up.
All right.
But, I really appreciate
Yes, my people are wrapping.
I got a
yeah.
handler.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a real pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sergeant Sleeves, behave yourself. Use a condom.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, man.